Hi everyone. Well, Carol's out at the moment. Tilly is napping under the table. So you've got me. I guess I've been deputised. I'm going to present this week's vlog. It's not something I get the chance to do anymore. Carol keeps me as far away from this as possible. Now, one of the many pleasures of the National Waterways Museum is a chance to talk to some very, very knowledgeable and seasoned volunteers that they have working there. I mean, these are people with a real passion for our waterways and an incredible knowledge of the history of the artifacts that they have on display there. And during our last visit, we had the chance to talk to one of the volunteers that is very familiar with, and in fact has first-hand experience of, the ship Basuto. Now, it seems that when Basuto was formally up for sale, the fate of the ship really hung in the balance. There was some competing bidders, and if the wrong bidder had won, then she might very well have been destroyed. In today's vlog, you're going to hear from this volunteer exactly how Basuto was kept afloat. So stick around while this very entertaining and experienced volunteer tells us the history of the ship Basuto.
Built in 1902 by William Jackson Company in Port Dundas, Scotland, the Basuto is a genuine Clyde Puffer, initially used on the Firth and Clyde Canal. After changing ownership in 1919, the vessel was converted into a dumb barge in the 1920s for the transportation of sand and gravel. Later, Manchester Dry Docks Limited revived the Basuto, fitting her with a new engine, while her boiler, manufactured by the Cradley Boiler Company in 1961, still powers her. Acquired by the Boat Museum at Ellesmere Port in 1981, she's been on public display since. This information is based on details from the National Historic Ships website, linked in the description below.
By another company involved with a big boat, the Duke of Lancaster, over on the River Dee, and they wanted it to actually sink and form a bit of protection around the Duke of Lancaster.
Right.
Anyway, and they were trying to build that up as a fun ship. Anyway, a couple of years later, that didn't actually come to fruition, and we had some further discussions, and we said, we'll still pay £5,000 for it.
Yes.
If you know wanted, and they said okay, but you've got to come and take it away.
So how did you move it?
How did we move it? Good question.
Yes.
So we moved it. Another group of nutcases, and I happen to be one of them, were involved in a steam tug, a 1912 steam tug, and the deal was the steam tug would get it, and in exchange for this boat, they would tow over a concrete barge, like a concrete barge there,
similar to that one,
from
yes.
Liverpool docks, to be used as the bank protection.
Okay.
So one day in August 1979, yes, the tug came over. The route from here, including two of us are still around here, Jim McEwen and
Yes.
myself, were on this boat, but it happened to be the weekend of the Fastnet race. You may not have heard of that.
No.
The Fastnet race was yachts going out and round down to Fastnet was south of Ireland, but there was a huge storm that day. And something like 15, 16 yachtsmen died in the storm.
Oh no. Okay.
So it's a really well-known storm. So, you know, unknowingly, we happened to be out there. We picked the boat up. The concrete barge was dropped off. The tug came in. We were on this boat, exchanged lines, and off we went. Lovely day like this, sunshine, up towards into the Liverpool Bay, past Hilbury Island, seals busking, and then about 20 minutes past there, as you get into the channel, you can't turn. it suddenly went from a force 2 or 3 nice sort of day like it is now to a force 8 gale.
Oh, wow.
Coming from our side. And this boat is round bottomed.
Yeah.
It's got about 60 tons of concrete in the bottom that we'll put in to make it stable.
Yes.
Because it had a big crane on it, jib crane, mast and all that sort of. Anyway, I'm going to tell it more. It was frightening.
I'll bet it was
It's one of
terrifying.
those things, well, I'm lucky to be here. Started about 4 o'clock. We crossed the River Mersey and got into Birkenhead about 1 o'clock in the morning. And we all downed a few pints even at 1 o'clock in the morning.
No doubt.
So that's part of it.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to raise some money to actually take it out of the water and put it onto our slipway, which is round the other side.
Okay.
Because we've got a fantastic picture of a big boat very similar to this, not actually this, on that slipway, with a narrowboat alongside it on the slipway, and with a young lad walking in the sort of picture. And that young lad was a son, I think, of Rachel Lindop, who was the superintendent. So it is a wonderful story associated with it, and that would mean we're able to conserve this boat for the future. In the water, it's going to rust, and we have a mix of boats in the water,
Yes.
boats that are operating in the water, and a lot more, and there will be more coming out to conserve them, and then being part of an interpretation plan.
That
and
sounds
adding
like
to
a
the
good
story.
idea.
So as I said, just
Yeah.
going back, it is on the National Historic Fleet,
Okay.
of which I think there are 200 craft on that list, and this
This is one of them.
So we're hoping to get the support of the National Heritage Memorial Fund for that.
Okay.
Have you been a boater
Too long.
throughout your life, really?
I'm a member of what's called the OBS, the Old Boater Society, and this year we get to be a certain age. And we're going to, I think, be presented with the OBE. That's the Over Bloody 80 medal.
One of the things that we encounter is lots of boaters, because we're liverboards, and lots of Liverport boaters,
Oh, are you continuous cruisers?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right.
Do you get a lot of boaters coming here then?
We're getting an increasing number because we're trying to encourage more boats, particularly to come through Chester. I mean, a lot of people are aware of Chester,
Yes.
but we're trying to get more of them coming through Chester here.
Yeah.
And we're getting an increasing number go on the ring, going down these locks and onto the ship canal up to the River Weaver,
Right.
where we've got, about Anderton
Yes,
steam
yeah,
lift.
yeah.
So we're part of the same,
Yeah.
So we're all trying to work together to increase that.
And when the lift was out of action, boats were stranded, weren't they, for a time, and needed to use the Manchester Ship Canal to get back.
Correct. And
Which
so we were involved in.
You were involved in that.
At this end.
Yeah.
In bringing them through the locks and that sort of thing. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So if any of you recognise this gentleman, you probably have done that little trip on the Manchester Ship Canal.
Oh, right. I should put my boater's hat on.
There you go.
Right,
now I know who
you
he
know.
is. Great stuff.
It's really important for everyone who's got an interest or love of the canals to see the lots of different facets.
Yeah.
It's not just about boating, it's about slowing the pace and enjoying yourself. It's also knowing something about the history and also looking forward to how, we need the support of everyone working together. You don't need lots of factions chucking bricks at each other.
No, that's right. One of the very cool things is I know, just looking at them, I can tell these aren't boaters here. So you're increasing the understanding and the appeal of the waterway system to the general public, aren't you?
Absolutely. So involving the local community particularly is important.
Right.
I mean, and by local community, I would mean, people within 30, 35 miles that they can drive here. So in terms of, let's take volunteers on the site, we've probably got 120, 130
Wow.
volunteers in all sorts of different activities, and you'll come across quite a few of them around helping in different things today. So there's collections, there's We're the headquarters for the Canal and River Trust National Waterways Archives in the buildings up there. Site maintenance, what do you call your Wednesday group? Chatty Wednesday? Chatty Cafe.
So really you can volunteer in lots of specific areas.
So one of the things we're really trying to do this year is build up and attract far more people.
Yeah.
So when you come in as a volunteer, you might start in one particular group because that's where you're maining, but you'll find quite a high percentage of people actually volunteer in several different groups.
Okay.
And when we come to, for example, our Easter boater gathering, which we're really working hard at, aren't we? You'll find just about everyone will turn up for that, because we need everyone's support.
Okay.
Anyway, so I think is that where I'm going to get presented with my OVE?
It might take a little bit of time.
I'm sure you can conjure it up.
Thanks so much for that.
We hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please like, comment, and share. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and click the bell to be notified when we put up new content. Stay tuned for more insightful and interesting interviews at the Ellesmere Port National Waterways Museum location. See you soon!